Guys, if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. Let's talk about it. Guys, this means basically you get out of life what you put into it. You probably heard that before, but I want you to really think about it. Like, look around. Look in the mirror right now at yourself, and ask yourself, are you living the type of life you always wanted? Like, look where you at, look where you living, look at the ceiling. Is your ceiling falling in? Is your walls all yellowed and dirty? Are you in a rough part of town? In a subpar living condition? What are you driving, man? Look at your woman. Look at the woman laying next to you right now. Is this what you always imagine yourself having? Are you with the type of chick you always imagine yourself being able to get? Are you struggling, man, and barely making ends meet? You in an environment that's not motivating at all, man. And I'm not telling you this on no, oh, you need to get motivated, it's go time, Nah, I ain't trying to do all that, man. I'm telling you this because I was once there. So I know what it feels like to walk in that one bedroom studio apartment, turn the lights on, and all the roaches scattered. Like, the motherfucker was in that bitch having a party before I got to the house. I know what it's like to walk in that one bedroom studio apartment, go to my bedroom, put my bag down after work, and have nothing to sit on but an air mattress and a TV dinner tray. Yeah, I know what it's like to be sitting in that same apartment with a newborn baby in my hands, looking into my baby's eyes with tears in my eyes. Not because I feel sorry for myself, but because I knew that wasn't, life wasn't supposed to be like this. Let's talk about doing what's hard, man. Doing what's hard requires intentional effort, guys. Define what it is you want. And then put together an action plan. That action plan is going to require a bunch of steps that's probably going to suck. But that's what you got to go through in order to reach your goals, guys. But the beauty in all this is you've recognized adversity. You've recognized the roadblocks that's in your way. And you've outlined steps that you need to go through to get there, man, to get to greatness. And you are now on a mission. You now have a goal. You now have a challenge that you can take on to feel like every day when you wake up, you got something to work towards. If this is what you need, fellas, hey, it can be the cure for depression. Now, hey, I understand that it's real clinical depression going on out there. So if you're depressed and you feel like you need medical help, go get that. But what I'm saying is a lot of times guys, they're out here depressed because they don't have a purpose. If you fat, you need to incorporate going your fat ass to the gym. If you want that shit to change, adversity is the ingredients for greatness. How many of y'all ever tasted a real gumbo? Now, I'm not talking about that shit that come in the Zatarain's box. How many of my Louisiana folks know what I'm talking about? When you get a real true to the game gumbo, you got to make that roux from scratch. You put the right kind of sausage in there. You put the right kind of chicken in there, crab, whatever. You don't put no hot dogs in that joke. Nah, you just don't do that, man. But you have to season it right. Maybe you put some Tony sachets in that joint. But the end results will determine if you put the right ingredients in that gumbo. So adversity is the main ingredient for your life, guys. Adversity was put here for men to become men, for men to desire to want to achieve more and stretch themselves to the highest level possible. This is how you always evolve a society. I don't know who you believe spiritually, but I believe that God created man in his own image, and not only that, but in his own greatness. But most of us don't know how to unlock that greatness that's within us. Waking up every day and working that plan is going to require you to have the ability to stick to something long term and not get discouraged. Despite of all the bullshit that is happening around you, Success is not an event, guys. It's a process. It's like a sword has to be forged in a fire, and men have to be created in that same way through tough times. I used to make the mistake of thinking, well, when I get this age, I need to have this much money. And when I get to that age, I need to have these things. And nothing is wrong with that. But where I made the mistake at is I put too much emphasis on material things and money. And I know many of us do, because money can be a great scorecard, but it's definitely not the end all be all. The real win is the person you become while achieving those goals, man. And I know you probably heard that shit before. And until you really start living like this every single day, it's not gonna occur to you that that's really what it's all about, man. It's all about improving yourself as a person, as a character. And then all of that other stuff really come as a byproduct. It's basically you versus you every day. It's about the long game out here. I used to avoid wanting to do something that I had to do, and I would think too much into it. I would gravitate to doing all the surface level shit first, which was a sign that I had a weak mind. For example, when I started my custom furniture company, I didn't know the first thing about building any type of furniture. I didn't even know how to cut a piece of wood. You know, I didn't take wood shop back in high school. I didn't have, my dad or my uncle didn't show me how to use different types of saws and make different types of cuts. It took me days and weeks of researching what type of tools I needed to buy, how the website was gonna look, mapping out every little detail in my plan, in my little notebook. I spent so much time researching my thoughts. I didn't actually take the steps that were needed to get the ball rolling. All I needed to do was just to get fucking started. So stop trying to map out every little detail of how you gonna get there, and just start where you are. Now, years and years later, after having a furniture company and making hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of years with my furniture company, now when I get that feeling that I want to avoid a task, I've already figured out that because I want to avoid this task, that's the task that I need to do first. So don't just think about doing shit, actually do it. And look, Nike gives us the best advice. We can read "just do it" over and over and over again for years and see it on the shoe boxes, but when you really think about it, that's the key to anything. Just do it. Stop overthinking everything. This advice is not deep, but it don't have to be deep. It's a simple concept, and let me tell you, most people don't even put the simple concepts into practice. Just do shit, guys, and keep on doing it until you see massive improvement. There's too many guys out here that's always looking for the good time, chasing pleasure, whether it's with drugs, food, alcohol, whatever your vice is, and not creating a plan for yourself. Wanting to watch all the football games, all the play PlayStation and Xbox all day. I remember back when I worked in corporate, coworkers used to gather and talk about all the football games or the previous night's football game. And they would gather by my desk for whatever reason. But I wasn't a part of this conversation. But I would just ear hustle sometimes and listen to what they're talking about, because I'm not big into sports. I watch the Super Bowl or the championship games, but I'm not watching every single game. I'm not into it like that. But these cats will know every stat, every player, every record. They know. They study the game. They watch every football game. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, how does someone, if you do this, this ain't no shot at you, this is just how I think. Man, you gotta put a lot of time into knowing every stat, where this person went to college at, where this person went to high school at when it comes to sports. Man, I don't have that kind of time to put into that. I just don't. I can't watch a bunch of guys that's living their dream and study everything about these guys when it's not gonna benefit my life. That's just how I feel, man. Doing what you think is easy and medicating your problems away because you don't want to think about the work required will eventually lead to depression and a sense of no purpose. And a man with no purpose is a man headed for destruction. Too many men sitting on the couch eating chips, drinking alcohol, and watching porn. I'm especially concerned for our new generation of boys coming up. And when they step into manhood, they think they could just skate by in life like beautiful women they see on social media, and not realizing that men have to be made and women are born. There's too many guys out here that are trying to get attention harder than the women. And I'm referring to the wrong kind of attention, non-productive attention. Yo, that's just life, guys. Women come out of the gate with value for the most part, but it's set up this way for a reason. Listen, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. You can come home every day. You can work. You can play video games all day. Don't complain when life throws you a curveball and you're not ready for it. Be careful of the path you choose, man. Look, I'm not here to judge because I get my ass up every day and I get to it. And I would tell my son the same thing as he gets older. You know, even those who were weak-minded and let's say they got a lucky break in life and they hit the lotto and then lost it all in the end because it's not what someone gives as a handout. It's about the person you become. And if you get millions of dollars and you're the same person and you have no discipline or the will to learn and get better and you avoid responsibility, most likely you're gonna lose all of that very quickly, as we've seen time and time over again. This is why you shouldn't want a handout. A handout will probably hurt you more than it's gonna help. We gotta practice strength and resiliency every day, bruh. Every day we gotta practice that. And if we don't, we will continue to be weak-minded and weak-willed as the days go by. If you a man that sits at the house all day and plays video games and sell dope all day, scamming and looking for a quick buck to live the high life, yeah, it feels good to have all that money in your pocket, going to the club, buying the sections up and draped in designer. But drugs sell themselves. Scamming can come back and bite you in the ass. And at some point, all that shit gonna come crumbling down. And when those feds get into your life and you get arrested and you have to fight them felony cases, trust me, your life will become very hard. Why? Because you tried to cheat the process and come up with doing something that you felt was the easy way out. Easy money. And being strong is not necessarily about having muscles and hitting the gym every day. Although I am a big advocate of, hitting the gym, because I feel like in order to be your best, you gotta look your best, you gotta feel your best, and you gotta be healthy, bro, at the end of the day. If you a doctor, nurse, lawyer, then you've been through the type of resistance that has created some degree of discipline, and that has grown your thinking. But giving into resistance and telling yourself it's too hard or too much work will not elevate you or your family. And you could possibly leave yourself in the never-ending cycle of what I like to call the rat race. Simply put, fellas, to sum all of this philosophical shit up, if you put your body through pain, you get stronger and gain muscle. If you sit on your fat ass eating cinnamon buns, binge watching Netflix all the time, you will be soft and fat. If you put your mind through similar exercises, that causes it to expand and grow, and you will most likely create opportunities for yourself that would elevate you rather than keep you always in fear and poverty. Look, I'll end with this. Just like we talked about earlier, how doing the hard things will make your life easier. Don't get so caught up in thinking that it's a good idea to get comfortable and let up off the gas either. Because the hard times will come again. Why? because it's just things that are not in our control, guys. So look, continue to stack up your money. Continue to do the things that have gotten you to the point where you have created good times. But keep going and turn those good times into your dream life, however that looks for you. So stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. All right, I'm out.